Hi, in this video we're going to look at how to create components using JSS. The first thing we need to do is actually create JSS scaffold or call JSS scaffold, name the component. What we're going to do in this demo is create a promo component. So I want to create something similar to this, which has a title or a heading, a content, and an image. I also want to enable rendering parameter to enable you to switch whether the image should be on the right or on the left, as you can see here. So how do we do that? As we said, the first step is to actually do JSS scaffold, and I'll call it promo training. What this will do is it will actually create two new files, one which is in Sitecore definitions, components, and the name, and another one is source components promo training index.js. This is where the definition of the component data lives, and this is where our actual render is. So let's get started. So first things first, I'm going to actually go to promo training, and I'm going to add my other fields. So we have a field named heading, we'll have a field named content, and that will be a rich text. We'll have another field that's an image. I'll actually call it img instead of image, and its type is image. I'll also just add display names because I really don't like having the field name as the display name. And I'll save this one. So as you can see, this is one I created previously. And now I have my required fields. I haven't done really the rendering parameters yet, and I want to show you what's there first before we go into the rendering parameters part. So we'll create something simple and then make it a bit more advanced. So next step is to actually go to my promo training index. Now the actual look and feel that I took was that implemented in the Habitat Corporate, the new implementation for Sitecore 9.2. So I'll just take this div as is, and then I'll start changing it a bit. So first things first, I need to delete all the @HTML parts, and then I'll put a text here, a rich text here, and an image here, and I'll delete this one. Now that I have my promo training done, I can just do what I always do, which is JSS deploy app. One important thing here that I've added, as you can see in our JSS deploy app, is accept certificate. This is because my site now has a self-signed certificate, so I need to actually tell it to bypass that certificate. Let's deploy. Now it seems that I've done something wrong, and it's telling me that there is an error. It says that an unexpected token. Okay, so let's go back to our promo training, and I'm gonna cheat a bit here. Let's try again. Okay, we have another error. Image is not defined. Okay, so this is something I always forget for some reason, which is to actually add the import here. So because I'm using the image, it should be imported in. It's good to face these issues with you guys so that you can see how the errors occur and how to fix them and how to actually debug. Oops, I forgot to save. Finally, it's built. So let's go back here. The first thing I'm going to do here is actually go to my placeholder and add promo training as an option here. So I'm going to go to renderings, project, my project, and then I should see something called promo training. I'll add it. And then add promo training here. I'll create a new promo training item, and then I'll be able to add hello world, and text here. Now I see that I've done something wrong again, that it's saying heading here and heading here, so that doesn't seem to be correct. Let's save this and check what we've done wrong again. So if you look here, what I've done here is I've actually copied and pasted props.fields.heading on all three of them. So I need to actually change that. So this should be content and this should be image. Let's deploy again. And we'll recreate everything just to see how it works. So as soon as this is done, I'll just refresh the page. And from here, go up one level, and I'll add my promo training. I'll just have different names here. Welcome to Sitecore. Hello world. And then we'll add an image here from our media. That might be too small. Let me actually upload something that looks a bit nicer. As you can see, that this image is actually taking quite a large location here. I might want to have this a bit smaller, so let's play around here a bit. So first thing, you can see that the width is 960. So if I put it as 100% and height 100%, that looks much nicer, right? So let's do that. So in order to do that, I can actually add properties to the image field. So again, how do you know all that information? The easiest way is actually go to the samples here. So I can see here this sample, and it has all these props for the image. So I'll go here and add these props. Editable, of course, I want it to be editable, so I'll say true. Image params, if I want to put image params that go back to the image, I don't want that. And I want the height to be 100%. And the width to be 100% as well. And I actually don't want any data sample. Same thing for rich text, so I can go here and see the rich text. Again, it can have a field, tag, editable, class name, data sample. So actually I'll add a class name as well here just to show the capability. So I'll go here and add a text left. Okay, so now that we've created or customized our look and feel in terms of parameters, the next thing I want to do is actually add rendering parameters. To do that, all you need to do is go back to your promotraining.sitecore.js, the definition file, and you go here and add params. Again, it's an array, so I'll add within that name. I'll call it right image with a display name of right image and a type common field types dot check box. And I'll need to check for it in order to decide what to present here. So first things first, I need to change this to class name instead of class, and this is the same because these are the two I'm going to change. So just to show you, what I'll need to change is add the order SM2 here and order SM1 here, just to swap them around ultimately. So the next step is, as you can see here, I've added right image, display name, and so on. This is the same one I just added here. Oops. Here. Next step is actually to add the class name condition. So what I've done here is I've added a constant. I'll just take it with me from here. So I've added a constant. Oops, adding it in all the wrong places. Let me see if I can just copy something off. No, I think that'll be easier. Yeah, let's take this like that. And then I'll close it so I don't forget. Okay, so what I've done first thing is I created a constant called right image, which checks if props.params does not equal null and props.params.right image, then it should return true, else it's going to return false. And I need to do that check on both these two so that I can render the correct class name. So again, I'm going to take this one I won't go into too much details about this because this is just React code. It's not really something specific to Sitecore. So here I have class name right image. If right image, then show call sm6, otherwise show call sm6 order sm2, and same thing for the other class here, but I want this to be called sm1. Okay, now before I deploy, I just want to show you some stuff. Okay, the first thing here is props.params is how you get the rendering parameters. And again, we added it from here, params here. Okay, one important thing to see here is that if I edit component properties right now, it shows me the placeholder, the data source, the caching, the parameters, all these things are shown here. As soon as I deploy, all this will vanish, and we're going to learn why in a second. So let me deploy this first. And then go back here, refresh the page, add the promo again. You might be wondering why it vanishes. It's because I have a YAML that's configuring this page. Hence, every time I go back with the deployment, it just removes everything that's not in that YAML file. So I'm going to go to promo training, add the promo training. You can see first thing is this is now 100%. I'll save now. And when I click on it again and say edit component properties, you can see that the right image is here. Now you remember that here should have been the placeholder and the additional parameters and so on. All that has vanished. And as I said, I'm going to show you why it has vanished. But first you can see here that the image is now right. If I uncheck this, it's going to be back to left. Now the reason that the other parameters have been removed is because what I believe is a bug in Sitecore, which is that the actual inheritance for my rendering parameters is from standard template rather than from the correct template. So let's go back here and go to my promo training rendering parameters. Of course, you can't change anything right now because it's locked. So I'll go to configure, unprotect item, and within inheritance, as you can see, it inherits from standard template. Now any rendering parameter should actually inherit from standard rendering parameters rather than from standard template, and this is what I believe is the bug in JSS right now. So I'm gonna go to the right location. So I think I actually forgot the location, so let's check it together. So from here, it's Sitecore template system layout rendering parameters. So Sitecore system layout rendering parameters, standard rendering parameters. Okay, and save. If I go back to this one and again go up to the actual promo training, edit component properties, you can see we have all the details that should be there as well, like the general caching and so on. And of course we have our data, which is our right image here. So this is how we create components with rendering parameters. Thank you for watching the video.